recently I had to be honest with myself and reflect in some areas of my life, because I am getting success in other areas, but these certain areas are the ones that play and replay in the back of my mind, right? And it often leads me to frustration. And I was sitting there reflecting. I was like, okay, you have been lazy, you have been moving as if you do not know and recognize that God is on your side and that he's already showed you these things. So why aren't you operating in a way as if you already know you have the victory, because you already have it? He showed it to you. And I was like, why aren't I just walking and moving day to day as if I already know I have won, and all I have to do is just operate in obedience in order to get to these things, right? And when I sat there, I realized, like, there's two hearts. This heart is the one I've been sitting in for a long time. And this in this heart, I have realized that there is the heart of letting go of what is familiar. It is hard to stay in a situation of frustration and not fully understand or want to understand or acknowledge the root of this frustration, which is not doing what I know I could be doing, or not reaching the levels that I have been seeing that I could reach. There's a frustration and a hard in knowing that you are not operating in your best self. There's a frustration and hard that there are areas where you are living by excuses and not by the belief that God has already gave you the victory. And that within itself is frustrating. I've been sitting in there in some of these areas of my life. And then you have this heart. This heart requires you to step out on faith. This heart requires you to have a chance to just take a risk, not know all the answers, which is hard. Operate in a matter where I don't have all the blueprint, but I know that I was instructed to do this, and he will not lead me to failure. He will not lead me to harm. This heart requires you to be obedient. And when I say obedience, I'm not talking about partial obedience, because that's still disobedience. And I have been, in my life, there are times where I have been partially obedient, thinking that I was doing the right thing, but at the end time, I was still being disobedient. But this heart is the quickest way to those dreams, those aspirations, those visions, those levels where he has showed you this could be your life. This could be where you sit at the table at, but you won't trust me enough to be obedient and do it. You want to have all the control. You want to have all the answers, and it don't work like that. And so I've been toying with this. I'm like, I've been sitting here for so long, and it's not serving me. It's actually frustrating the heck out of me even more. So I'm gonna do this, because this is the quickest way to wherever else. You think that you can create these shortcuts, trying to make it your own, or trying to control the narrative and go in these different options, but you're not realizing you are delaying yourself more. If you just take this way, this is the shortcut. It still may take a year. It still may take a couple of months. It still may take years. It still may very well just happen. It could happen tomorrow, but you won't know because you won't do it. And I said to myself, Brianna, you better start acting like that you can't fail. You better start acting like he already showed you this. He just needs your obedience. God is a gentleman. He's not going to force you to do anything. He can show it to you, but there's still, on your part, you have to do some things. You have to do some things. And that thing is just be obedient to what he tells you to do. And if you don't, then you can only blame yourself. You can only look in the mirror and say, this is on me, because I didn't step out. So yeah, which side are you gonna choose, or are you gonna sit in? The side of frustration because you know that there is more, or the side of kind of like comfortable feelings of, because you don't know all the answers, but you know this is the quickest way, and you know that you're operating in obedience. We coming here. All right, y'all.